Hello, everyone. Hey, it's Kirk Duncan, and welcome to my webinar here tonight. Great to see that you're on the chat already. Great to see where you're from. This is super fun to see Idaho and Canada, all over the place, in fact. So super great to be with you. Got a lot of great insight to share with you tonight. I've been thinking about you a lot. And so I've thought this through, planned it out, what to share with you, what not to share with you, because I don't want to overwhelm you, but I definitely want to help you in your coaching experience. So again, welcome to our webinar tonight. My name is Kirk Duncan, and I have been teaching and training now for getting really close to 18 years. I know it's crazy. I can't believe it's been this long. It feels like such a short amount of time, but it's such a long time. But over the years of doing live seminars and workshops and, meeting in person and doing all that live experience. And I've met quite a number of you before at our live events, and I miss seeing you. I really do. It's been, an absolute joy to be able to do live events. And we're here now as Three Key Elements doing live online webinars and videos and a lot of online work. And it's been amazing to be able to reach across the globe and meet people in places that we could have never met you before with doing live events. So what a miracle it is. What a blessing it is that we have internet and we have technology to be able to connect us all, right? I know sometimes we just take it for granted, but let's just take a moment and just express some gratitude for the internet and for the online systems that brings us together. Like, for example, tonight, you and I, we get to connect, and I get to share with you. You get to take some notes, listen in. And my plan is to open up your mind and be able to open up your heart so that you can step into that next level of service to others in whatever capacity you're doing it in right now. If you're a coach, if you're a mentor, a manager, a business owner, a mom, a dad, an aunt and uncle, a neighbor, a friend, whatever role you're playing, you're in that place of service, because that's why I know you're here, is because you want to learn and hear about how to help people and what to say, what is the conversation. And I'm pretty excited about the content. I'm real pleased with the way it's turned out. I've been working on it all day and just really putting a lot of thought into it for you. And so this is for you tonight. Super good. Okay, cool. Well, I don't know. Some of you have never met me before. This first time you're either watching on YouTube Live, or this is the first time a friend shared an email with you. But my wife and I, Kim and I, we have been partners and team members in our company for these 17 years. We have done a lot of appearances on TV and also have done a lot of training from stage together. And I don't know if you've ever had the chance to do that before. It's kind of a rare experience to be able to teach with your spouse or your partner and be able to be up front. It's quite the dynamics. I could teach a whole class about what it's like to work with your spouse, and what an incredible, just a sweet moment it is to be able to be with her and teach. I've also just really enjoyed all the other classes that I've created, and I've put together a lot of different programs over the years. In fact, I have created 41 different programs, different seminars, different training courses, 41 programs. It's just been amazing to just serve and help. And it shocks me to think about that. Like, really, seriously, 41 programs, that's a lot. And my classes, they were well packed. You know what I mean? There was people coming from all over the place, and some great topics, really great, very, very interesting topics. And I know some people, when I get a chance to talk to them, they ask me, where did you learn all this? and that's an interesting journey. Have you ever heard of street smarts, right? There's book smarts and there's street smarts. And I first started out with street smarts. And that's a whole other story. Like why I had to really dive in and really figure out how to communicate with people, how to listen to people, how to help people, how to work with people. A lot of street smarts, meaning I was in it. I mean, sitting with people, teaching people, figuring out what their challenges are, what their problems are, and what works, what doesn't work. A lot of street smarts, but I've enjoyed it. And over the years, I have refined and fine-tuned what it is that I teach. Of course, when I find what works, that's what I share. And of course, when I find out something is kind of so-so in how it works, well, then I just drop it. I mean, why teach so-so material when you can teach material that really moves a person in their life, really solves problems? And so to me, I'm always looking for what is the best content to teach that matters the most. What's the best and what matters the most? Now, I got to tell you, being an introvert, it's been difficult to battle that introvert side of me and teach. I am so shy. I mean, you guys, it's crazy, but I could go stand on stage for, hundreds and thousands of presentations, but my introvert side just is screaming on the inside of like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And it's just so hard. And so when people say, oh, I can't teach because I'm too shy, it's like, no, you can still teach. Because when I would get on stage, I would be like, I'd be shaking and super nervous. And sometimes I would forget to breathe and I would always forget to eat. I really would. I would forget to eat. And people would have to come feed me because they're like, you're not eating lunch. You need to eat. And it's like, oh yeah, I need to eat. And so all of these different experiences of, 41 training programs, all these years of training, we're still fully at it. You know what I mean? Like, we have not stopped. We are continuing to teach. And I have to say this is really cool. This class, Master Your Influence, this class has been going on for 15 years. I think it's actually 16. I got to go check the records, but I know I can for sure say 15. And that means that I've taught this class over 72 times. And there's other courses that I still teach too, but this is like the longest lasting class out of all the different classes that I do. And when I say that, I want to show you this. Like, you see all these different logos here at the bottom of the screen. This is just a small portion of the different classes that I've created over the years that were super successful, large audiences, and just massive, massive content with great techniques, great training. And now I don't teach those classes. I know it's crazy, right? The one right there at the top is what my focus is on right now, is the Coach Fast Track program. My life right now is dedicated to helping up and coming coaches get established, get organized, and get paid clients. That's my main focus now. Instead of having all these other seminars that I was teaching every single year, I was teaching a 3-day seminar every single month for 17 years. I mean, we were teaching all the time. I mean, at least one of those seminars a month, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. And so now I take all my experience, my street smarts, my wisdom from these classes, and now I teach people how to become a coach, or if you already are a coach, how to go from having free clients to having paid clients so that you can actually do this full time. Because I really believe that people are being inspired on like, this is the way they're supposed to take care of their family, is to work from home and teach, but they feel the calling, and just like you probably feel the calling to serve and teach, but you're like, how do I do this? And you probably wish you could do better at it. And that's why this is a great conversation, because that's what I'm here to do tonight, is to like really open up your mind and help you see this, right? How this all works. So I call myself a hybrid coach. And what that means is I do use a framework. I use a lot of structure in how I coach, and it's very organized. I have a system I follow that I've created. I also use a lot of intuition and to be able to identify where the sabotages are and where the subconscious of that individual is holding them back. And then I also train my clients or students on techniques, literal exercises they could do to change the course of their life. And so I like structure. I really like intuition. I mean, really, intuition is just amazing when you can understand how to use it and serve people, but then also to have very structured techniques to teach people. I really believe this is the what's going to happen as time goes along is we're going to see coaches become hybrid coaches, because for a long time there were coaches who followed a framework and they didn't really use a lot of intuition. And then there were other coaches who were very intuitive, but they didn't use frameworks. They weren't structured. And there has been the last 2-3 years, a lot of coaches emerge and be very intuitive, but they lack structure. And so their business side of them just couldn't work. And they did a lot of free coaching and a lot of complementary coaching, but they really couldn't pull together a group coaching course or one-on-one coaching. And so they struggle. And so there was ones who followed the framework, and then there were other types of coaches who were intuitive, and then there were other trainers who would teach techniques. But as time's going along, I'm seeing that there are people who really are hybrid coaches, where they are a mix of all three, which I'm going to say is the best way of coaching, is to have a system, have step-by-step process, be able to be intuitive, and also to be able to understand how techniques work, mindset techniques, and how to teach them. And if you're like me, which I figure you probably are somewhat like me because you're here, then you have the opportunity and you're becoming a hybrid coach. So if you might, lack intuition, I could teach you how to open up your intuition. If you don't have a framework or a system, I can teach you how to build a framework and a system for your coaching. If you don't know what mindset techniques are or don't know how they work or how to teach them, I can teach you that. That's what I spend my whole dedicated life right now, is to teach these three areas: framework, intuition, and techniques. And I really believe, and I'm already seeing it, that these are going to be the type of coaches who can actually adapt to the changing of what's going on in the world. And so I know that these people who are hybrid coaches are the ones who are going to be the ones to stay strong and make an impact in people's lives, because they're so adaptable with their intuition, their frameworks, and their techniques. And so that's what I'm doing now, is I want to teach as many people as possible how to do this, how to use a framework, how to be intuitive, how to teach techniques, and how to be so in tune that you know what technique to teach the person so that you can help them in the right area of their mind. And so I love this. I mean, this is what I breathe. This is what my heartbeat is all about, is serving and helping and teaching. And it used to be, I would teach seminars, and I would teach those types of classes like I showed you before. And I loved it. And each of those were topic specific. But now I teach people what I was doing in those classes, where before I kept all those secrets to myself, like how I taught each one of these programs. What was I doing? What was the content? What were the techniques? Why did I put it in that order? And now it's like, no, I want to teach people how to build their own classes, how to build their own group coaching program, and how to teach people one-on-one, whoever it is you want to teach. If it's teenagers, women, men, entrepreneurs, whatever category of people you want to teach, the techniques that I have taught for years works for human beings. That's what I love about this. It works for any person at any time, because I've seen people learn from me and then go teach youth. And then I see them go teach women, and then men, and then entrepreneurs and executives. I had a client once who learned what I was teaching, and then she flew to Australia and held classes in Australia, and the people just ate up the content. Another person went to Italy and started holding classes in Italy, and the people were just like eating it up like crazy. Like, how did you do this? Like, this is amazing. So I love empowering people, and I love hearing how they're impacting people and how they're changing people's lives. It's just so cool. It's exactly what I've always hoped for. So what I've always wanted to do is to be able to share what I've learned that I've struggled for years to figure out. And now I can save others time. I can save them money. I can save them time. I can just show them this is how it works. And so these webinars that I do that you're here on right now, this gives me a chance to like show you some of this, and give you a snapshot of it, give you a sample of it, of what it would be like if you were to like jump into my Coach Fast Track program or be coached by me. I mean, how cool would that be? How cool would that be if you and I could work together for 4 or 5 months together? What if I could help you? I mean, that would just be so awesome, that I could like jump in and like help you personally with everything I've learned. Oh, it would just be incredible to hear your ideas, what you want to do, how you want to do things, and then help you build and structure your program. I could help you pull together your content, your program so fast. I remember this one day with one of my clients. He walked in, he sat down, and he said, "Hey, I got to build a program, and I've been working on it for like 3 months. Could you help me with this?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll help you out." And within 35 minutes, I grabbed a binder, I grabbed pages, and I laid out the framework of his class. And then the next 20 minutes, we laid out the techniques. So framework and techniques were done within an hour. And he was like almost doing backflips. He's like, "How did you just do that?" I go, "This is how I think. I just see the opportunity. It's like, oh, this is what you do. And here's how you do it. And here's your first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh session. This is what you teach. This is the order of how you teach it." I mean, it's just my place. It's my element. It's what I love to do. And if I ever could have a chance to work with you and you wanted to like have that connection, oh, you got to reach out to me. It would just be incredible to be able to do something like that with you, to be able to help you. And so you're not taking so long to get things put together. I mean, that's the thing, is that sometimes it takes people a long time to pull it together, and it doesn't have to take that long. It just doesn't. We need to get you going, like really like actively teaching and actively helping people at a higher level than what you're doing right now. And I think you know that, right? So when I get asked why I like to coach and teach, the soft spot in my heart is for my own kids and my own grandkids. I want to be the kind of grandpa that if my kids came to me or if my grandkids come to me and they said, "Hey, I'm struggling with something. Can you help me?" I'm practicing day after day, week after week by coaching other people. So when my grandkids come to me or my kids come to me, I can help them. I want to understand how the mind works. I want to understand what the problems are. I want to understand psychology. I want to understand how the techniques can help, so that when even my own grandkids come to me, I can go, "Yeah, I got something. Let's talk about this." And they know that I'm not just making something up, right? I'm not making it up. It's like, this is what you do. And they know they could trust me because I've been practicing and I've been using it myself. And so I want to be a good resource. And maybe, I don't know, maybe one of your children finds me. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe someday I could help your kids or help you or help one of your friends, or one of your siblings, but I want to be helpful. When I was growing up, I attended Scouts, right? And in Scouts, they say, be prepared. And I kind of took that literally, like, you know what? It makes sense to be prepared, because what if? And I just wanted to be helpful. I didn't do very good in school, right? School was not my thing. I couldn't do the textbook stuff. And I listened and I tried, and I didn't get very good grades. But wow, can I be helpful? I love problem solving. I love trying to figure out how things work and how to make it better. I love doing that. And I love doing that with people. And so deep down inside, if my kids come to me or if my grandkids come to me, I just want to be really good at knowing exactly what to do, because I don't want to miss the moment. You know what I mean? Because when they finally come to you, it's like, hey, grandpa, can I talk to you? It's like, oh, like the time to prepare is past. There's no time to prepare when you're getting asked the question. So it makes sense how valuable it is to practice helping people often, so that when the next person shows up to ask for help, you've been practicing. You're not caught off guard. You're not sitting there going, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. But to be able to be in that place of going, oh yeah, I've already been helping people. I know what's going on. I know how to help. I think that's smart. Tell me in the chat, what do you think? Tell me in the chat, is that smart? Is it smart to practice helping people? You know what I mean? Like checking in with people and seeing how you can help, not obnoxiously, not like you're trying to interrupt people's lives, but you're just care. I think it's smart to be able to do that, so that when the time happens, you've done some preparation, you've done some practice, right? Oh, I see you guys saying some yeses in the chat box. Okay, you're my kind of people, to think about this, because here's what's happening. It used to be that, online was where everybody could get answers. But what's happening now is they're looking for people to talk to, because they want to have a discussion. They have questions and they want some clarification. They want to talk through things, where before people would just look up the answer, get an answer, go do the answer. But the problems today have gotten a lot bigger and a lot more complicated than where they were just a year ago. And so more and more people are reaching out to people, but they don't know who to talk to. They don't know who to trust. And they're kind of leery and like, oh, who do I talk to? And so they're looking and listening for somebody who's practiced. You know what I mean? They're not just brand new. They've actually been in it for a while. So if you are a current coach and you're wondering, how do I find more people? You need more practice. And so you need to tell people, hey, I need some people to practice with. And so that gives you an opportunity to warm up your skills and be around people and talk to people and hear people. And the more practiced you are, the more people are going to want to work with you. That's how it works. And I'll tell you, I mean, it's great to be smart, but it's more important to be practiced. You take a smart person who's out of practice, that's awkward. That's like, whoa, okay, kind of awkward, kind of bumpy, little messy here. Doesn't make sense. I can tell you're smart, but you don't make sense. But wow, you work with somebody who's very well practiced and they know what they're doing. Oh, wow, what an incredible experience, right? So you have the opportunity to be one of those people by how much you practice. So yeah, these little people, these are my superheroes. These are my grandkids who are just superheroes. Don't you just love the little people of the world? They are just so awesome. And they're growing up in kind of a strange world right now, different than where it was 2 years ago, actually 3 years ago, right? And so, yeah, they're going to need some help. So I'm getting ready to help them, because they're going to need help, because I see what's happening and I know they're going to need help. And I know there's a lot of people around the world. In fact, there's so many people around the world. In fact, how many people are around the world? over 7 billion people. I would say there's a good chance that 75% of them have a struggle they don't know what to do with, and they don't know who to talk to. And they're going to go looking for somebody. That's a lot of people. I mean, I'm a coach, right? I'm a coach and I have a coach. So even all these coaches have coaches. And so it's like everybody needs a coach. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like super smart to have a coach. So, okay. So glad you're here. Let's jump into this and let's talk about this. So here's you have an idea. Here's them. They have a challenge and a problem, or something's going on, a situation. So we're going to get into this insights to coaching, like what to say, what not to say, and what's going on with the person. So I don't know how you're going to be taking notes, but I would highly suggest taking pictures of my screenshots. Now you see at the bottom, it says all rights reserved for personal use only, right? That means you can use this for yourself. So it's okay to take pictures of it as long as you use it just for yourself. So one way to take notes is to take pictures of the screenshots, but a little bit of a heads up, some of my screenshots, they grow, they build on top of themselves, and they get bigger and bigger, meaning more details. And so, I mean, of course, take snapshots whenever you want, but it's great to get this because it's super helpful for a visual to come back to. Another way, of course, to take notes, get your computer out and type, or get a pad of paper and take notes. And here we go. Let's talk about this. And I'm going to talk to you like you are a coach. Okay. That's just how I'm going to talk this whole time, as though you are coaching people. Either you have just barely started, or you've been doing it for a while, or you've been thinking about starting. Okay. You've been thinking about starting. And even if you've had clients for years and you're doing a couple 100,000 a year, you still have room to grow. Okay. So let's talk about this. Okay. So 2 pro tips here. I'm going to just go through really quick here, and then I'm going to go into some other work. Pro tip number 1, coaches today are making the mistake by rushing the conversation. The client, that's the person you're teaching. There's the mentor and the mentee, or the coach and the client, right? So we're going to call the other person the client. So your client has a lot on their mind. There's a lot of challenges. The problem, the real problem, the deep down real problem isn't going to come to the surface very fast. They need some time to talk and just go through the details. You as a coach, you don't push them to hurry through the details, or you're going to be spending time trying to solve something that's not really the problem. So how do you not rush it? Well, you might show up with like something you need to teach them because it's the next appointment, and you're like, oh, I want to teach this next thing. But the client brings up some issue, some challenge that they've got. Put your lesson to the side and listen. They're bringing you something. They're trusting you. They're trying to trust you. That lesson you're going to teach them, or that principle you're going to teach them, yeah, you'll get to that. But if they're ready to share with you, that means that they've got some rapport with you and they've got some trust with you. Allow them the chance to build more trust by sharing with you. And so don't hurry them through the conversation just to get to the principle you were going to teach. If they're opening up, it's a beautiful opportunity, because when somebody opens up, that's a rare experience, very rare. Okay, pro tip number 2, when you go to give your client an action step or the plan for the week, I'm noticing that coaches are not being very precise, because their clients are not doing the action steps. So why is that? They're not doing the action steps because it was too much and it was too complicated. And so it's better to be simple and precise. In fact, just to let you in on my experience of coaching, over the last 3 years, I have had to reduce the size of action steps. And why is that? Are the people becoming less capable? No. The people are having their mind more full of things to do. Lots of responsibilities, lots of things going on. Their heads are more full than they used to be a couple years ago. And so it's hard for them to remember what to do. And when it's a little too complicated, they just won't do it. Now, you and I both know some of the best work happens in between the coaching appointments on their action steps. And so it's best to simplify and to become more precise. So these are 2 pro tips right up front, and I've got a lot for you here tonight, but I just want to warm you up with those 2. So again, don't rush it and be precise. Okay, good. Now I want to step back just a tiny step here and talk about where you're at as a coach. And I want to help you with a little bit of your mindset before I get into this next deeper level of conversation. You might be right here hoping to get started, or maybe you are a coach who just got started, and maybe you've been doing it for a while and you're about ready to step all in, or maybe you're here and you're ready to go full blast. So wherever you're at, I just want to help you understand 2 different experiences you're going through. The first experience is called the imposter syndrome. This is where when you're trying to start, or even when you're just barely getting started, this whole imposter syndrome can get in your head. And what this means is where you are wondering, how can I do this? I'm not even great at it. Or how can I do this and other people are better than I am? And you just feel literally like an imposter. I remember having this experience, this imposter syndrome. And this really played havoc on me as I started, and this imposter syndrome followed me. It just was like, it would not let go. And I had to wrestle with my mind to tell my mind, I'm here to help people the best I know how. I was not claiming to be an expert, which some people out there try to sell you on. Oh, you're going to be an expert really fast. I don't think that's right to do that. I really don't. I don't think it's smart to try to make somebody feel like an expert when inside their head they have imposter syndrome wrestle match going on. So it took me a while to get over this imposter syndrome, but the main phrase I used to myself and reminded myself was, I'm going to help people the best I know how. And that was a true statement. That's not an imposter way of thinking. I kept it real inside my head. And that is one way to keep yourself moving forward, to get started, to keep going and get full in as a coach, is to manage this part of your mind that you're going to help people the best you know how. That's not an imposter. It's not. And that can diffuse the imposter syndrome. Because if you have the imposter syndrome going on, guess what you will do? You will avoid people. You won't ask people for an appointment. You won't offer your coaching for sale. And you will be way too shy to even bring it up to anybody because you just feel so much like an imposter. Now, the imposters, when you're trying to elevate yourself to be this expert or elevate yourself like you're a know-it-all and you're not, that's true imposter feelings. Don't raise yourself so far up that you fall and land on your face. Really important that you stay down to earth with yourself by that simple way of thinking. I'm going to help people the best way I know how. That way it's just real. So I kept myself very down to earth. And I would tell people, hey, I've been coaching for 6 months, or I've been coaching for a year, or yeah, I do my best and this is how I help. You just keep it down to earth, because as soon as you try to inflate your appearance or inflate your website, or make your website, your social media, make it look like you're like some kind of rock star, you are going to wrestle and fall on your face with imposter syndrome. You're going to feel like a fake, because you are a fake. Don't be fake. Be real. I see way too many up and coming coaches really elevating and exaggerating and inflating who they are. And it's like, that's not what you're doing. You are so fake. And I know inside of them, it's just eating a hole in their soul, because they just have imposter syndrome like crazy. And guess what happens? All of a sudden they disappear. They quit. They're done. And then they tell people, oh, I wasn't meant to be a coach. And it's like, no, you inflated yourself. You exaggerated yourself. And imposter syndrome ate a hole in your soul. So don't do that. Just keep it real. I'm not kidding. Like when I would teach a class, I would tell people like, hey, I'm still pretty new at this, but I'm going to help you the best I know how. And people are like, oh, okay, that's cool. And if they got up and walked out, or if they clicked off the webinar, that's fine. But I'm going to be real. So be nice to yourself and keep it real. Tell the truth. And there are marketing agencies out there that are going to try to inflate you to look like an expert. And yeah, it might look like an expert, but you can't even act like an expert, because imposter syndrome's eating a hole in your soul. You don't want that to happen. That's a hole in your soul, right? Keep it real. That way you'll keep going. Do you understand that? The more you keep it real, you will be unstoppable. When people ask me, how have you kept going? How come your business is still going? It's like, because I'm real. That's like, this is me. This is all I got. I'm going to help you. I'm going to do the best I can. Let's do this. And then I dive in and just do my best. But how you stay on track and how you keep going is you're real. Be real, and you won't have imposter syndrome. So Kirk, why did you have imposter syndrome when you first started? And it was because I was like, oh my goodness, who am I? Can I really coach? And the way I broke out of this was I just started telling people, hey, this is my 4th month coaching. I've worked with this many clients. I just started telling them exactly where I'm at. And so I could get out of that just psychotic, twisted, internal, eat a hole in your soul imposter syndrome moment, because it eats people for lunch all the time. And it could be one of the reasons why you've slowed down. If you have, I bet you it's eaten you. And if you're like, whoa, I didn't even know about this, like, this is crazy. But to be able to get started and keep going and be all in, man, you got to just be real as real as real. So when somebody's like, oh, you should do this and really inflate this and make this sound amazing, it's like, no, no. New people can make it. What they want to feel is they want to feel from you your desire to help. And if your desire to help is real, it's real, they're going to feel it. But you got to really pour on the, like, I want to help. And it's like, yeah, you might not be the smartest person. You might not be the most organized person, but if you want to help, man, that's a powerful feeling. And they'll sense that, and people want to hire you. Okay, next weird zone. Okay, this is the know, learn, and mistake zone. This is where you know something, and then you got to learn, right? Oh, here we go. You know what happens when you learn? You kind of are a little floppy, and you got to like, oh, learn how to do this, learn how to do that. And Oh, you just go through the learning curves, and then you get to go through the mistake zone. Just so you know, we all get to go through this. Everybody gets to learn. Everybody gets to make mistakes. So if you ever feel like you're the only one who feels floppy, if you're the only one who think it feels like you're making 1,000 mistakes a day, you're not alone. I was in a class one time, and in the class, it was day 2. It was day 2, and I said, "Hey, everybody, I just want to announce that so far in the first day and a half, I've made 53 mistakes." And they all laughed at me. And I said, "No, really, I've made 53 mistakes, but I'm going to keep going." So I was just being real, right? It's just like, it wasn't like I was putting myself down. I was just recognizing like, wow, I can make this many mistakes and I can keep going. So that's been one of my mottos all these years, is that I'm going to make a mistake today and keep going. I'm going to make a mistake and keep going. I'm going to make a mistake and keep going. So if you ever think like, oh, I'm the only one, no, I make a lot of mistakes. I forget things so much. And it's like, oh, I need to change that or fix that. But if you can make it through these 2 zones and keep going, do you think the mistake zone is ever going to end? No, it keeps going. So even people who have been in it, like I've been in this now for 17 going on 18 years. Do I make mistakes? Yes. Am I still learning? Yes. Do I still sign up for courses and learn what to do next? Yes. Yeah. Like right now, I'm learning how to show up online more because I've done live events for 17 years. It's like, I got to figure out how to do this online. So I take courses, right? I'm still learning and I still make mistakes and I still laugh at myself and I keep going. So funny. Okay. So good to know. Even if you're trying to start, you're here. It's the same. So you're not alone. Just stay with it. Be real. Don't inflate it. Don't exaggerate it to people. Don't lie. Don't lie. It comes back to bite you and it haunts you. Tell the truth. Be honest. Be real. And get out there and help people. It's the real people who last. Because there's no guilt. There's no shame. There's no, oh no, I might get caught. It's like, now you're just one of those real people who's all in, and you know it's your purpose and your passion and your mission to serve people. And there you go. Love it, right? All right, cool. Cool. So what do you think about the be real piece? Are you in on that? Tell me in the chat box. I'm watching. Tell me in the chat box. Are you all into being real and authentic? And this is me, right? It's just like, this is what you get, but I'm here to help you and I'm going to do the best I know how. Let's dive in, right? I mean, it's so just refreshing. You don't have to put on some kind of show. I just don't like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Cool. Yeah. I like what Sandra just said in the chat box. No plastic personalities. Wow. That's a good one. I like that. No plastic personalities. Oh, I love it. Okay. Next piece. Here's something I want you to recognize. Another piece to help you with mindset. So this is you. Boom. You got a great idea. You're going to help people. God called you to the work, or you got inspired by watching somebody else, but you got this idea, right? Next thing that happens, you think, wow, it could be cool to help other people. You got this idea. You're thinking, I'm going to help other people. And then you pose this question, but how do I do this? Now, this word right here, you see that word, how? How do I do this? That sometimes can be a dangerous question. What it does is it turns your mind into a search process. And it starts searching your whole entire past to figure out how you're going to help people. Now, it seems innocent, right? Like, oh yeah, how do I do this? So then your brain hears, whoa, you want to know how? Let's see what we know. and it starts searching last week, last month, last year, the last 3 years, last 5 years, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And it's looking for everything you know how that you've done amazing at in serving people. And it also is going to search and find all the mistakes you've ever made with other people. How many mistakes have we made in our past with people? Oh man, like, do we even want to count that? You know what I mean? But it's on search mode. Where have you done well and where have you messed up? Which one do you think has more? The mess up side or the do good side? Well, if you're human, you probably have made a lot of mistakes, right? So all those mistakes come flying to the surface as answers to this question. And when all those come flying to the surface, this comes up. Uh-oh, you can't do this. Don't you know you've made this mistake, you've made that mistake, you've made so many mistakes. And so then the thought crosses your mind of like, oh no, maybe I can't do this. And that's where that thought comes from. It's not a negative thought. It's a report to the search. This was the search. This is the finding and the report of searching your whole entire past is like, well, you kind of mess up with people and you're kind of awkward and you say things weird and people don't understand you and this and that. And so then your brain comes back and says, you know what? I don't think we should do this. And so you might be thinking, oh, wow, okay. And then the next one, well, who do I think I am? Because it's like, wait, have I ever done this before? No. Then the next one, I don't know how to do this. I've never done this before. And then the next one, I would look stupid. I would probably make mistakes. And so all of these thoughts come from that search command. And now it's generated all this past experiences, all these X's show up, and then those X's start to creep over and shut down all these ideas. And so guess what happens? Right here, when you were about ready to start, this whole search happened. And now these X's come up and they're like, oh, that's a dumb idea. Oh, we can't help people. I'm never going to figure this out. So then you pull back. That's what happens to people who are inspired to do something, and then they let their brain do their search, and then their brain actually comes back with a poor report. And then internally, you implode and you pull back. This is why you've been hesitating for so long. Every time you get close, your brain does a report and then comes back and says, did you forget? Here's all your mistakes. This is what you've done. Now, why am I showing you this? I'm not trying to make you depressed about this, but what I'm trying to show you is it's a report about your past. This is all past. Your idea is something new. So this is where you get to be, you get to look at your brain. Okay, you get to look at your brain and go, okay, it just searched my past and it just came up with this poor report. So does that mean I can't do that? No, all it is a report. So you can still step forward, even though you have a past that says you got nothing. You got nothing to support you. But you got to know that this is happening, or you're going to be stuck in this zone right here going, I can't do it. Maybe I should do this. No, I shouldn't. Yeah, maybe I'm going to try it. Yep, I'm a failure. You're going to be bouncing back and forth right here for a long time, like months and years. And you know what you're doing. You know how you're wrestling with this. And the reason you're wrestling is because you keep listening to the report from your past. I had the same thing happen. I finally had to tell my report to shut up. Shut up. I know that's not very nice to say. I was told never to say that in the house, but I was like, you need to shut up. It's a past report. I'm going to move forward even if I have a poor report card about my past. Because if you don't move forward, this is what happens. Inspiration without expression can lead to depression. I meet people And believe me, I've met a lot of people in the last 17 years who were inspired. They were inspired to write a book, to teach a class, to put together a curriculum, to help the youth, help women, help couples, help men, help entrepreneurs. And they gave up. And guess what? They're depressed. And they're like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know. I just feel really down and everything's just bad. But I had inspiration, but now I'm just super depressed. I go, it's because you're not talking about your idea. Inspiration without expression can lead to depression is true. Take a picture of this, stick it on your mirror, remind yourself every day, this is what's going to happen to you if you keep playing the game of maybe I'm going to start, maybe I'm going to get all in, maybe I'm just going to pull back. If you keep pulling back, you're going to go into depression. I'm not trying to manifest that. I'm warning you of that. It's a warning. Because I had that happen. I've seen other people have that happen. You know what happens when you get into depression? You have suicidal thoughts. That's terrible. We don't need you having suicidal thoughts. We need you opening your mouth, opening your brain, and getting out there and helping people and getting off the imposter syndrome, knowing you're going to make mistakes, and just get into the zone. Get into it. Come on, let's go. Right? See, when you know what's going on and the trigger of thoughts trigger the mind to pull up all this stuff from the past, and you get where it's coming from, you can tell your mind, okay, this is probably better than saying shut up, but it's like, hey, thanks for the report. I'm still doing it. And your mind will be like, what? You can't do that. It's like, yeah, I can. I'm so doing it. I'm going to do it anyway. And you're going to be throwing these X's back at the brain because this is what you're going to say. Instead of saying, okay, instead of how this works, this is what you say. Where do I get the training? And now you can throw the X's back onto the report and say, no, cancel. Cancel on those thoughts. You are a report. You are not my future. You're a past report. You are not my future. Do you hear me, brain? This is my past. You are not my future. That's not my future. I'm going to get training. Because so that way, when I get training, I can get in this zone, follow what somebody else has done. And so I can make less mistakes. I can learn faster, and I can get through this zone and get all in and be serving lots of people. That's what I'm going to do. So I can be happy. I can get out of depression. I can get out of my mopey, bad attitude, blaming everybody and complaining about my life. And I'm going to get back to being in ownership of my brain and tell it, thanks for the report, but I'm doing it anyway. And so you're going to be like this. That's what you're going to do. And you're going to be like, I'm going to get training. Quit complaining and get training. If you catch yourself complaining, shut your mouth and go get some training. If it's not working, it's because you don't know something. It's either your brain's messing with you or you don't know what to do. So you got to go get some training, right? So cut out the complaining, get some training. So instead of here, just promise me right now in the chat box, promise me. Get in the chat box and promise me. Say, Kirk, I promise I will open my mouth and I will stay away from depression. Kirk, I promise. Do you want me to help you type it? Kirk, I promise I'm going to open up my mouth and I'm going to stay away from depression. I know it takes, there's a little bit. There we go. There we go. Okay. Promise. Come on. Promise to me. I got to see it because I'm going to print this off after this webinar is done. I want to see your promises. You open your mouth. You open your mouth and you pay attention to what your mind is given to you as a report, and you just leave it there on the table as a report. And then you just get after it. Get after it, working with people, because nobody on my watch is going to slip into depression, because you just need to know how it's happening. Once you quit talking, then you quit thinking. And then you shut down. That's not good for you, for me, for anybody. And you might have a friend who's shut down and you got to tell them, hey, you got to open up your mouth. And what do? You tell your friend, you need to start typing what you would teach somebody. Get an auto recorder, start talking, teach somebody somewhere. Tell an auto recorder, go outside, tell a tree, tell your friend, go help people. Open up your mouth so you can open up your brain and get away from depression that comes from this. That way you can just get up here, get after this. And I have to be fair here. As soon as you start to get all in, there's this whole freedom that happens that you just love learning, and you're fine with making mistakes. You're in. It's like, let's do this thing, right? Okay, so awareness of what happens. Boom, 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 boom. But now boom, 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 boom. That's what happens. That's what you do. Wow, right? Awareness, keep your head straight. You just promised. I see your promises. Thank you for promising to me. I just saw those cross the screen. That was amazing. So admit that you still have room to improve. I do. This is me right here. I put myself on the scale right here. That's me. I got more levels to learn. I got a lot to learn, and it's okay. I'm fine being a student until the day I die. And even after I die, I'm still going to be a student. And then I'm also going to be a teacher. But first, I'm always a student, always learning from my mistakes, always analyzing how things turned out, always figuring out what do I need to learn next. So I'm always a student. I'm a student. You're a student. We get to be good students, right? And we get to go, okay, I got room to improve. Let's just get after this. And again, I just want to help you get out of these zones. And if you haven't started, to get you started. If you've started, to get you moving with practice. And if you've been practicing, to get you into the all-in zone, and so that you can get past this and be like, okay, I love learning. I'm fine with mistakes. Let's go. Yep, I'm going to learn. I love serving people. My mouth is open and I am teaching, because we're going to avoid this, and we're going to help other inspired people avoid this too. So when you see somebody who you know is being inspired, but they're grumpy, they're mopey, they're down on themselves, and they're hiding, you get to help them and say, hey, you're not talking. You're not sharing. Your brain's shutting down and you're going down. I got to help you. Teach me something. Really, seriously, get your mouth open. Wow. Okay. All that was good awareness, because it's super important to know your journey, what you're going through, and to be able to help you with this so that you know you're not alone, and also to give you that insight that it's possible to keep yourself going. So beautiful. I'm glad I could share that with you. Okay, let's talk about getting stumped in a conversation. Okay, so here's a tee up for that, right? People share problems in fragments and pieces. You never get the whole story right up front. You have to earn their trust before they will give you the rest of the details. To build trust, be interested and respectfully ask more questions. So I'm going to go back to this right here. So this person has something that's happened, right? Something's happened, and they're going to share some details with you. Well, those details, when they come out of their mouth, are not all the details. They are pieces. Now, you got to know this as a coach, that there's always pieces left behind. They don't tell you the whole story. Even though the person may be jibber jabbery and they're talking like crazy, there's something they're not sharing. And it's okay, because it's not time for that to come out yet, or maybe the trust level isn't there, or the rapport level's not there. But if you stay interested, it earns respect, and you earn rapport. And then the person says, oh, and here's a little bit more. Because when you're trying to help somebody or give advice, really difficult when you just have a few of the pieces. So don't be so quick to solve the surface problem. Don't be so quick. You're not a 1 hour repair mechanic to just show up and then you're just going to fix somebody really fast. You need to do a little bit of investigating through some questions. Because if they don't give you all the details, you can wait and listen. You can also pose questions. And I'm going to give you a list of questions that you can use that will open up the conversation so you have a better understanding. And when you have a better understanding, your intuition turns on. Okay, I'm going to say that again. When you have a better understanding of what is going on, your intuition will click on. And then the more you understand what's going on, your intuition turns up. And intuition gives you insight of how to help. Now, of course, you have education, right? You have experience, you have education, you have knowledge that you could share, but you don't know what quite to share because you don't want to like all over the person. We don't throw up on people. Write that in your notes. We don't throw up on people. No, we listen. We don't say anything yet. Because the faster you act on what they say, it shows how new you are. So you want to be, you want to practice being a great mentor by not quickly fixing. You first go through a series of questions before you open your mouth to share, because that way understanding is up. And when understanding gets to a certain level, intuition turns on. Oh, it's just like the best part about coaching. It is like the best thing ever. Best thing ever. But I've learned this the hard way, believe me. So there's understand. So here's intuition. Here's understanding. If I get a little bit of understanding and I throw my brain in there with like what I know, it doesn't mean that it's going to be the right answer for where they're at. It's going to be an answer. But then the client or the friend says, well, I don't know, that probably won't work. And you get denied. Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst when you open your big mouth too soon. Like your understanding isn't high enough and you open your mouth and you're off. Oh, I do everything I can to not have that happen because I had that happen too many times in my beginning years. And I was like, why do I get denied with what I just shared? Because I know it would work, but then I realized, yeah, it would work, but it doesn't fit. Did you get that? What you know will work for them, but it doesn't fit. Remember, we got puzzle pieces. And if you open your mouth too soon, you're going to share a bit of wisdom or a bit of smarts, but it's not the right angle or it's not the right way to say it or the way to present it because your understanding was still low. And so when you open your mouth too fast, yes, what you have is smart, but it doesn't fit that person. And so they get to deny you. And if they deny you 2 or 3 times, guess what they do? They pull away from you. And then you feel, I don't know how to say this in an easier word, but you almost feel like rejected as a coach. Oh, it's the worst ever. You just feel this like rejection of like, I think they just turned it off. They turned off. They pulled away from me. Oh, it's the worst. But the reason that happens is because we're too quick to answer with the right thing, but it's not ready to fit. And so you got to ask questions to build up your understanding to click so that your intuition turns on. And then intuition takes what you know, adjusts the words and the way it's presented, and it fits. And then the client is like, whoa, that was good. And they're like, how'd you do that? Because you took a smart thing with intuition and it got adjusted and tweaked just right. and delivered just right, and it fit. So yes, it's right, but it doesn't mean it's going to fit. You need intuition to take what's right, to be slightly customized to fit in. And then now the person, you literally see them get shocked. Like that's it. And then usually they cry, or they just have immense joy, and then they cry. I've even seen men before in my coaching appointments just go, how'd you do that? And I go, what do you mean? They're like, how did you do that? Like, that just hit me. And I know it's right. And I was like, oh, it fit. I like teaching what's right, but I enjoy more when it fits the person. That is like so good. But I don't see coaches learning how to do that. I don't see them learning this. I don't see them being taught and coached and mentored how to do this in an appointment. They just are spatting out answers, and they're right answers, but they don't fit. And then the client is like, okay, and it just didn't fit. It was right. Because I'll have that coach check back in with me, because I teach a lot of people on how to coach, and the coach will check in with me and go, but I gave him the right answer. I go, yeah, you did. That's the right answer. And they go, well, how come they denied it? How come they reacted? I go, because it didn't fit. And then the coach is like, what are you talking about? I go, there's two parts. It's right, and it's how it's going to fit. And this piece right here is the whole framework and intuition. How this works. It's like, here's the framework of what is going on with people, which I'm going to show you here in just a moment. Here's the framework of what people are wrestling with. This is why people have problems. This is what's causing the problems. And when you understand the framework of problems, and you then know techniques to solve those problems, now you got to have intuition to take what's right and help it fit the person. This is the kind of coaching the world is going to want. They're not going to be okay with people who just keep throwing answers at them. They just won't do them. They just won't even do it. They won't tell their friends. They won't tell their friends how great you are. They'll just keep it quiet that they have a coach. But when you can fit something that's right, that you're teaching, and it fits, bam, it just hits them. And they can't deny it. It just, boom, it just fit. And they're just like, what? It takes the power out of them of like their life being so difficult, because you just solved it. You just solved it. And they're like, how'd you do that? Like, that actually felt right. Like, that's the thing I'm supposed to do. And it's because of that understanding got to a point, it clicked on the intuition. And now intuition causes you to hear how to deliver this and how to customize it so it fits. So I hope you're writing this down, that there are principles that are right, but they don't necessarily always just quickly fit. You have to listen to the person. So do one of two things. Either in the chat box, tell me you're getting what I'm sharing with you, or click the raise the hand button on your Zoom toolbar. I just want to know that you're hearing me on this. You getting this? I mean, because I've thought about this and I was like, man, do I dare talk about this on a webinar? Like, this is a really cool part about coaching, that when you understand the dynamics of how this works, can be life-changing for you as a coach, as you're coaching people. I mean, this is the thing. It's the thing. You can learn all kinds of coaching content. You can learn 20 people's content. But if you can't get that to fit the person, it doesn't work. That's the thing I've learned is it's like I can go down to the store and there's just tools like crazy. But I have a certain nut and bolt that only one type of tool fits to fix that. Doesn't matter that I have 200 tools. Do I know how to fit the tool to the problem and to the person? And that's that intuitive side that has to be activated through having a higher level of understanding to click in, bing, to trigger that intuition to now take it from that point that not everything that is right actually fits for the moment. Now, this is the first time I've ever brought this up in a webinar before. And I bet there's some people on here who are probably in my Coach Fast Track program who are sitting here going, wait a minute, he hasn't even taught us in that class yet about this. And so the last couple of days, as I've been thinking like, what do I share? And it's like, are you serious? Like, is that what I'm going to share? And I'm like, all right, here we go. But this is the part that's been on my mind a lot over the last couple of months, is the fact of where is coaching going? Where's it headed? Like how does it need to evolve? And I really believe that we as coaches, we really have to be able to turn on that intuitive side and practice this concept of not everything that is right fits for the person, and to be conscious of this. And so what does this mean for you? What this means for you is asking more questions. And what that means then is listening. That means your ability to listen to what they're saying has to improve. It has to improve. Now, I don't know how good of a listener you are. I don't know. I don't know how you are at home. I don't know how you are with your friends. I don't know how you are with whoever's talking to you. I don't know if you're good at keeping your attention on the person who's talking. Or are you somebody who squirrels, right? There's a lot of us that are squirrels. Shiny object squirrels. Oh, cell phone. Oh, I got a text. I have to flip my phone over. I don't know how well you are developed in attention holding. Because as a coach, that is a very important technique that you need to possess, is having your undivided attention on your client. But that means you have to practice giving something attention and practice not being so distracted. Because if you're somebody who's easily distracted and you're in a coaching appointment, you're going to miss what they are saying. And so you might ask all the questions, but you're not listening. Now, can a normal person learn this? Of course. A normal person can learn this because it just takes practice to develop attention giving, question asking, and then taking what's coming to you, because intuition comes to you, of how to share the principle or the technique. Attention, questions, listening, customizing the approach. So attention, listening, attention, questions, listening, and then that little bit of tweak, that little bit of adjustment that comes to you because you have been listening. Now, could you learn that? Yes, you can. But Kirk, how do I learn how to have better attention? And then I'll give you the questions here in just a moment. But how do you do this? How do you have better attention? Well, what you do is you have an attention practice session each day. It's not long. It's 5 minutes. Okay, you set your phone for 5 minutes. Set your phone for 5 minutes and you pick something in the room and you literally look at that for the solid 5 minutes. And wherever your brain squirrels, you come back to that picture and you catch the squirrel and cut him loose. So the squirrel can run and you stay on the picture or the book on the shelf or the chair or the light fixture on the ceiling. But you give yourself 5 minutes to just practice honing your attention. So when you're in a coaching appointment, you know you can give 5 minutes of really good listening. Because that's kind of a problem with some coaches, is that they actually don't listen very well. And so they miss all the opportunity to be intuitive to the person. But really, a 5-minute practice each day. Wow, 4 or 5 days of that, you start to gain more control of your attention span. Now, if I was coaching you, I've got a whole series of exercises, right? But this is the first one. The first one to practice. Get your phone, set it for 5 minutes, pick something. It's all your attention for 5 minutes. Or if you're in the bathroom getting ready in the morning, or wherever you're at, but you give yourself 5 minutes. It'll raise your attention span so you can listen to the answers, so you can customize. Now, of course, this is only really you're only going to really take action on this if you really are serious about being an all-in coach. Because I've got grandkids, and when my grandkids get older and they have issues and they need help, I want to be really good at being intuitive. I want to be really good with techniques. I want to be really good with listening, right? So I'm getting ready for them. I don't know who you're getting ready for, but I think we all ought to think about why we want to practice and who this will serve as we do this. So I'm going to give you the list of questions. You get to think about your 5-minute practice. Can I go longer than 5 minutes, Kirk? Sure. You can go 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, if you can get to 20 minutes, wow, that's crazy nuts that you could hold your attention for 20 minutes. I can get to about 12 minutes, 15 maybe, because I got to really work on my brain, because I've got squirrels. My brain is just zooming all the time. So I have to practice this so I can be good in an appointment. I've come a long ways. I'm really proud of myself. I've come a long ways. Okay. So I hope you're getting this. I hope I'm not saying too much. Oh, I always hope that I'm not saying too much. Let me know in the chat box. Am I saying too much? Is this too weird, or you with me? Kind of give me a little feedback in the chat box so I know where I'm at. If I need to kind of reel back or stay right where I'm at, stay in the lane, keep going. Good? Just right? Perfect. Keep going. Okay. Spill, dude. Okay. All right. So we'll stay on track here, what we're doing. Okay. So let me go back here to my screen so I can show you the questions. Okay. So stumped. What do you do when you're stumped? Stumped is when you don't know what to say, or you just got denied. You tried to help and the person's like, no, that's not going to do anything. So stumped is when someone is waiting for you to respond to only a fragment of the details and you don't know what to say. So these are the questions I'm not going to slowly reveal. I'm just going to like, boom, give them all to you. Okay. So there's the questions. Get your screenshot. There's the questions. So these are options for questions when the client says, so what should I do? And you're sitting there going, I don't know what to say. Anytime you don't know what to say, you can go to one of these, or you can start with number 1 and go to number 2, go number 3. These are all like consecutive, like how I do it. I like start with number 1 and I work my way towards 10 and I get a ton more information, right? Because I need to raise my understanding so it will trigger my intuition, so I'll have a better idea what to say. But at any time I'm stumped and I don't know what to say, I will turn to one of these questions to get them talking more. Because if I don't know what to say, somebody needs to talk. And it's not going to be me. I am not going to jibber jabber and fumble all over myself and put myself in front of them like I'm supposed to know the answer. No, I don't have to know anything. I got to just build my understanding, then get intuition, then know what to do. But I got to get to intuition. So that means I need to ask more questions. But when they go to pose a question to me and I'm stumped, you guys, I last week I did this. I had an appointment last week where the person quickly was like, well, so what do I do? And I literally was sitting there going, okay, I don't know what to say. So I know what to do. I'm going to use a question. Okay. So then I asked question number 3. Before I give you an answer, tell me more details about this. I know there's got to be more details. And that is always a given. There's always more pieces. There's always more details. And if they say, well, I don't think there are any more details. Oh, okay, well, then I go to number 2. All right, well, then tell me how you felt. What other emotions did you experience in this? I need to get them back talking. I need them to open up because they haven't given me enough yet because I don't have anything. There's nothing I can go off of here. And so I got to get them talking. And then if they're pretty open and they're talking, I can ask question number 4. Hey, so what do you wish you would have done different? And then I can ask number 5. Have you talked to anybody else about this? Oh, you have? Okay, tell me what they've shared with you. And then there's number 6. Okay, so what have you tried to fix this? What have you tried to do to fix this? And then after they tell me what they've told me, I go, okay, so out of all that, what worked? Or out of all that, what didn't work? And then there's always number 7, ask what their options are right now to solve this. Like, hey, so what do you think you should do to solve this? So all of this, I'm keeping the conversation going. They're opening up. I'm learning more. I know sooner or later, I'm going to get inspired. But if I still have nothing to give, nothing, I can ask number 8. So what part of this whole scenario makes you the most nervous or most worried or most whatever? I'm going to just underline nervous. You can put whatever emotional word in there. What makes you the most mad or sad? And I can hear more. And then number 9, I could ask, okay, so if somebody else had this same situation going on, what advice would you give them? So now I get them solving their own problem. And then if it's still then, I can ask them, well, what did you hope I could do to help you? And I've had people before actually tell me what they want me to do for them. Then I didn't have to figure it out. These 10 questions has caused me to open people up, keep the conversation going, and guess what? Never get stumped again. Never caught looking dumb, never caught looking like I don't know what to say, because I've got all this to say. And by the time I use all 10, guess what? They've solved their own problem. Or at least they've come up with some things to do to be able to start to work on their problem, to even make some movement. But I was able to engage in the conversation and not just sit there floppy and stuttering and the whole deer in the headlight thing. This has helped me to never get stumped. And I got to tell you, when I was teaching seminars and I've got, 1,000 people in the room and it's time for Q&A and people are asking questions, you never know what the audience is going to say. You never know what they're going to ask. And there were sometimes people were asking questions where I was like, I have no idea what to say to this person. So I went to one of these questions, or 2 of them, or 3 of them. And once my understanding built up, there were these magical moments, these spiritual moments that I got inspired of what to share, where I had nothing. I was like 0, but I knew if I could just keep building up the understanding, it's going to trigger intuition to kick in. But intuition doesn't show up until understanding is high. I've learned that, how important this is. If I'm not getting inspired, it's because I don't understand this enough or understand this person enough. And so in front of 1,999 people, they ask me a question, but I could ask questions back. And there was this one person, it was like 15 minutes of us going back and forth with these questions. And then boom, the inspiration shows up. And then I say, you know what? I've got something for you. And then I share it with them. And then boom, they start crying. And they're like, how did you know? That was perfect. And people in the audience are like, how'd you do that? How did you do that? And now all 999 are like, how they're looking at each other like, I missed it. How did he come to that? And it's not because I knew the answer. It's because I was raising my interest in the person and I was diving deeper into their life and understanding them at a deeper level. And then here comes the help. Here comes the support. Now, where does that help and support come from? I'm going to give you some ideas. I really believe that sometimes what happens is the subconscious of the person I'm talking to talks to me. And their own brain tells me what their real issue is, what the real problem is. And I can hear their voice inside their mind talking to me. I've even had where I could pick up on the fact that it was one of their ancestors who was in the room told me what was going on. So I've had their subconscious talk to me. I've had their body talk to me. I've had their ancestors talk to me. I've had God talk to me. I'm not kidding. Like all these different ways, because when I would get these answers, I would ask, okay, where'd that just come from? And it's like, how did that just happen? And it's absolutely mind-blowing. Just mind-blowing what can happen when you seek for deeper understanding of the person. And I got to tell you, what I really see happening in the world is we're becoming more and more shallow as people. And no wonder we're not in tune with each other. No wonder we're having issues with our family members and kids and stuff, because the understanding is so shallow. We're just so used to like Googling it or typing or asking Siri, and what, Siri's supposed to be the inspiration? No, we're losing our grip on how to understand people. Okay, I'm kind of going away far on this, but I get so excited about this because it's real. You have room to improve your ability to understand people. Would you agree with that? Tell me in the chat box or by clicking the raise the hand button. Let me know if you know you have room to improve in this area of like, shut your mouth, ask more questions, right? And then it's like, we need to get to that level to trigger that inspiration to start to happen. And that we need to have that listening skill to be able to go, okay, I just heard an answer from somewhere, but it's somewhere good, not from the devil, right? It's like, we're not going to listen to the devil. That's another topic for another day. How to sort out who's the devil and who's the bad guys, who's the good guys, right? What's the light voice and what are the dark voices? But how to sort that out so you can recognize when they're popping off their comments, and so you can not listen to them. But the whole thing is, when we're serving people, we get a lot of help if we're diving in at that deep level. But this is my list. This is my go-to to never get stumped again. So you get to practice it. You get to practice with somebody. And you might want to pick like 2 of these questions. So the next time you're in a coaching appointment or with a family or friend, and you're like, I don't know what to say. It's like, okay, what was that other question? And maybe you have this on your phone and you just swipe to your photos, and then you get into the album that you saved all this in, and you pull it up and you're like, okay, I'm going to try number 2. You know what I mean? You might just need to have that like a little cheat sheet on your phone. That's why I told you to get a picture of this. So that way you have it, so you can start to practice it. Or if you're going into a tough conversation, you can pick one of these questions so you're not stumped. Oh, I'm just so happy I just don't get stumped. Because I've been, years ago, I was stumped in front of an audience. Oh, and I've got like 1,200 people in the room watching me. And I'm like, I don't know what to say. And I finally just told the audience, I just finally said, I don't know what to say. And the person's like, you got nothing? I got nothing. And I just felt the whole room go, huh? Like he just got stumped. And ooh, I was like, what did I miss? Well, how can that happen? And then that caused me to do a deep dive to figure this out. Why did I not know what to say? What was I missing? I didn't ask enough questions and I wasn't listening. I was too worried about having the perfect answer. I was in my head trying to find the answer instead of just waiting for the answer to show up. Because when you're in your head trying to find the answer, you're not listening. You know that, right? You're not listening. And so it's like, ask the questions, just listen. Because inspiration is going to come to you, and that comes to you through listening, not thinking. This is going to sound really wild, but when you're in the mode of inspiration, you actually are not thinking. What you're doing is you're listening. You're listening to them. You're listening to their emotions. You're listening to every word they say. You're listening to everything they didn't say. You're listening to everything. And then when they stop talking, you can repeat back to what they said, and then you can ask the next question. So you can keep listening. And then when the inspiration comes, it comes through listening, not through thinking. It comes through listening. I can't believe I'm telling you all this stuff. This is so good, though. I'm gonna have to go back and clip this recording. This is really good. Okay, so I hope this helps. I hope you're getting what I'm talking about. I got more to share with you. We're not done here yet. But this is so good. I'm glad I was able to share this with you. Good? Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, so man, can you stay like 3 more hours? That's way too long, right? We all got to go to bed. But I'm looking at what I got here, and I don't want to miss out on some things, and but I also don't want to keep you forever. Okay, so that's the main part I wanted to share you about not getting stumped in a coaching appointment. But I got to now show you, like I promised you, I want to show you where problems come from. Okay, so there's a couple slides I'm going to walk through. And then I think after that, I'll just wrap this together here. But I actually have some documents I'm going to share with you because I put them in a Google folder, and it's going to be towards the end. I got some things I want to share with you that you'll be able to just click on the link and download. So hang in here as I go through this, and then I'll give you these documents. Cool? Okay, so that's how you don't get stumped. That's how I'm not going to try to explain everything I just said. You just heard me now for like 20 minutes explaining this. But now I want to show you this right here. To solve a problem, you have to know what you're looking for, right? It just makes it so much easier when you have an idea what you're looking for in solving a problem with somebody. Now, this took me a long time I was going to try to quantify the years, probably about 7-8 years to kind of really dial in on. I knew it, but just the way I was thinking about it, I had to kind of refine it along the way. But I'm going to show you some screenshots to just keep it simple on what I have found, that no matter who I'm talking to, I know the source of their problem. That's crazy, right? Okay, so let's walk through this. So coaching is assisting a person to get from point A to point B, whatever it is. It could be a problem. It could be a goal. It could be a scenario, a situation, something they're wrestling with, something they're striving for. But there's always point A and there's always point B. And so that's where a person is at and where a person wishes they could be in some area of their life. And so this is really important to recognize that when somebody is struggling, they could be struggling towards something good or struggling with something that isn't good, right? So, but either way, they're in a particular experience and they wish it was different. So they're somewhere in their life, they have something happening and they wish it was different. Maybe they are making $3,000 a month and they want $10,000. Maybe they're 250 pounds and they want to be 197. Maybe they are happy, but their spouse is a jerk. Okay. Maybe they really want to be a good parent, but their kids destroy the house and get yelled at every day. They just want something different. So whenever somebody is struggling, there's something they want to be different. And it's important that we know what that is to be different. And you want to find out, what is it that they want to be different? And where are you currently at compared to what you want to have be different? Those 2 points, anytime you're giving advice, anytime you're coaching, if you don't know those 2 points, your advice is going to be off. Does that make sense? Like, you need to know, you need to ask. If somebody's like, oh, I'm kind of struggling with this, it's like, oh, well, what do you want to be different? What do you wish it would be? Okay. And where are you at right now? Those are 2 very basic questions, but coaches tend to miss those. Coaches tend to be like, they're just going to fix everybody. But again, this is to help you be a better coach, because you're gaining understanding where they're at, where do they want to be. 2 very important points with whoever you're talking to. Great listening skills, great communication skills to always find this out with whatever's going on, to know, oh, how do you want this to be, and where are we currently at, or where are you currently at? Just really, really, really good. Okay. In the pursuit of getting from where they're at to getting where they want to go, there's this situation. Okay. I'll explain it. Sometimes they run into a wall, and this can be a mental wall. Sometimes where they're going isn't clear. Sometimes they have emotional triggers they can't figure out. Maybe they lack focus. And also maybe they're just unclear where they currently are at. So there's these different components that they're not even quite sure that this stuff is going on. And what I call this is the discovery conversation, where I need to find out what's going on. They want something to be different. I need to find out what's going on with them. Where are you going? What are you up against? Is it your head? Do you have emotions about this? Are you able to focus? And what are you doing to try to fix this? And do you even know where you're currently at? Like, this is what I call the discovery conversation. And there's a lot more detail behind this, but it just seems very standard that you would want to find out what the person is wrestling with, right? So this is a sample of a different diagram that I have, that I teach coaches how to do a discovery session. It is mind-opening to the client to walk somebody through a discovery session and actually be showing them the diagram. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It just uncovers so much, and it wakes them up. That's what you want, is you want a client that's awake. Okay, so to back up, the simple part is, whenever you're coaching, identify where they're at. And if you can get into the discussion of how clear they are about where they're going. Because if it's not clear, that's the problem. If they have mental walls, okay, that's the problem. If they have triggers, emotional triggers, well, that's the problem. If they lack focus, okay, that's the problem. Now, what do you think? Oh, and also, if they don't know where they're currently at in their situation, that could also be the problem. So look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could it be that people today actually have problems in all 5 areas? Yes. Could it be that one person will have more of an emotional issue than any of these others? Yes. Could it be that a person could have more mental walls than anything else? Yes. Could it be that they're just unclear about what they want, and that's why everything's a mess? Yes. So it could be one of these that is the problem. It could be 2 of these that's the problem. Oh, I just forgot to put a question mark on one. This is their own personal identity. That could be an issue too, when they don't know who they are and they don't know what they're capable of. So there's these different areas that problems originate in. And so it seems like almost every problem comes from one of these question mark areas. And I've been coaching for 17 years, and I've tried to simplify coaching for me so that when I'm in a coaching situation and they bring up a challenge, I go, oh, okay, I know which one that is. And then I can dive into that area and know what to coach them in that area. Like, this is an assessment to find, where should we start in solving this challenge that you have? So again, this is the desire to get from here to here. Most people have no idea that these are the common categories that people have challenges in. So I coach people in each one of these categories. And there's two others, but not necessary to bring these up right now, but there's two others other than this, that then I can choose from to, as I listen to them, I can hear where their challenge is at. And then we can actually dive deep in that particular area, learning about why that is not functioning well, and then how to put that into a better functioning way. So the reason why I'm showing you this is that coaching is predictable. It is not complicated. It's predictable. Every person you coach, it is predictable of the different, like less than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's actually 7. So there's less than 8 different areas for you to choose from. And then there are techniques in each one of these areas. So when I'm coaching, my overall goal is to help the individual get better in each one of these areas. Because if I can help them balance each one of these areas, they become more balanced as a person, more grounded and balanced. And so coaching is not mysterious. It's not weird. It's not like all over the board. It's very predictable. And this is what you call a framework. This is a framework. And I teach coaches this framework. And when people go into my Coach Fast Track program, they get a license to use this framework and then to teach this to their clients. They get a license to do that. They can't sell the framework, but they can use the framework in their own coaching and have a license to do it. So I like helping coaches have a full coaching program with a framework that is like guaranteed to help the person. So if you're a coach trying to figure out your content, or if you're a coach and you just want to teach, wow, this could be incredible for you to have such an incredible framework to follow and to be able to teach. But overall, I wanted to show you and to be able to help calm your mind that coaching is not this big mysterious thing. If you had been coaching for 17 years, you would come to a similar conclusion of where common problems come from. And so it's not rocket science, it's a framework. And so it's good because once you learn the framework, it makes it a lot better in how you go to coach people. Your confidence really builds because it's like, wow, I get this. I know what's going on. Oh, I have another client. Okay, which area are we going to start in? Well, you have the discussion, you find out where the weak area is, and then you start doing the repair and mend work in that area. And then they start to get better, and then their life improves and they're super happy. But it's wonderful to be able to have a framework to follow. And so I wanted to show you this so you can see that it's real. Now I want to take you one level deeper. I'm going to take you inside the mind. Okay, here's a picture of an iceberg first. This is going to represent the conscious. This little box is going to represent the subconscious. And this is to give you an idea of how powerful a person's subconscious is. Everybody has two parts, conscious and subconscious. And then there's also a super subconscious, but we're not going to talk about that today in this webinar. We're going to talk about conscious and subconscious. Well, what's the difference between subconscious and conscious? At nighttime, your subconscious puts your consciousness to sleep. That should tell you who's boss. Your subconscious puts you to sleep. It says, you're done, go to sleep. Even if you're driving down the road, your subconscious will say, you're done, go to sleep. And you could consciously be talking to your subconscious saying, if I go to sleep, we're going to get hurt. And your subconscious will say, we just need to go to sleep. So your subconscious is hardwired to do certain things. And it is powerful. It is way stronger than your consciousness. Your subconscious is where your behavior is, where your character is, where your habits are, your programming is, everything that's just deep down in that actually controls what you do is in your subconscious. Good to know. Now let's move over to having a picture of you. Here's your conscious. Here, whoa, what happened to my, lost my subconscious piece. Okay, conscious and subconscious. So inside you and inside your client is the conscious and subconscious. So I'm going to get into what the wrestle is. This is the wrestle that every human being faces. Okay, here we go. So iceberg, picture of you, picture of the client, picture of me, right? We're all the same. Now, inside this is what it looks like. Consciousness has things that it wants. This is what it wants. This is what you want. This is what your client wants. Subconscious is set on the way things have been. It's programmed. It's hardwired to create this. Your consciousness looks forward and says, hey, we should do this. And your subconscious says, well, we do this. This right here, the battle between conscious and subconscious, is the core issue to a lot of problems that people have. And the subconscious is set on how things have worked. So like if you were to say, I want to let go of 20 pounds, your subconscious says, no, we're programmed for 250 pounds. And you're like, I want to let go of 20 pounds. No, we are set for 250 pounds. And so then you go exercise and you try to diet and you really work hard and you let go of 20 pounds. And then you stop exercising. And then here comes the weight and it adds back on and you're back to 250. Why is that? Your subconscious is programmed for 250 pounds. You want to make more money. So you work really hard to make more money. And you have this month that you get ahead and you got all this money and you're like super excited. But then the next month you have a dishwasher break and you have other things happen and that extra money goes away and you're right back to where you're at, where you're set. So your financial number is set. Your health number is set. Your weight is set. Your relationship is set. Your forgiveness is set. Your kindness is set. Your attitude is set. And all of that is called mind set. Where people struggle is the fact that they consciously want to move forward, but subconsciously they are hardwired and programmed for a particular setting. This causes people to doubt themselves, that it's even possible for them to change their lives. And so people become doubtful, they become negative, they become pessimistic, they try, they fail. And now people think something is wrong with me because I can't change. And there's nothing wrong. It's just the way things work. But there's people who go into depression, they get in fights, they get in arguments, they go deep into doubt, helpless and hopeless and frustration and discouragement. And complete misery over the fact that their consciousness can't make this happen because their subconscious is set. And there's a lot of problems that happen from this right here. People lose faith, they lose hope, they lose interest, they hate themselves, they see themselves as broken, they see themselves with issues, and it's just how the brain works. And so we have all these people out there in the world who are having these struggles, and they don't know that all of this stuff I just said is all coming from the fact that they're conscious and subconscious. That's just how it functions. Now, some people change, and then they call those people lucky. It's like, how did they change? Well, the only way things change is if in the subconscious, it changes. This is the source of a lot of problems, that people don't work on their subconscious. They just figure since they can see it, they can have it, but they don't get it. This is why we have over 87% of the people in the United States financially struggling. This is why we have so many people struggling with suicide, with arguments, with fights, with bad attitudes, with all kinds of problems all the way across the board, where people are even hating God because they think God should just fix their brain, when what needs to happen is people need to be trained how to change their subconscious. That's what's missing. And it's not talked about. Mindset is talked about, but people don't know what mindset is. They have no idea. The more people I talk to and I say, what do you think mindset is? They tell me, and it's like, that's not what it is. They don't know that that's what needs to happen, is the subconscious needs to change. And so what needs to happen is this: to be able to change the subconscious from looking at the past to looking at what you want. When you and I, can train people through coaching how to change the subconscious and get what we consciously want into our subconscious, and now our subconscious is facing forward, we can set our mind on what we want to create. Now, this person turns into a creator. This person turns into a lucky person that no matter what they do, it works. It's because they can move their subconscious to get set on where they're going. Some people already have this working for them. Most people don't. Most people, it's pointing the other direction. And they literally feel torn on the inside. They feel a separation on the inside. They feel that discouragement on the inside. And this is what I highly promote you learn how to do, is to learn how to get into the subconscious in a very ethical way. There are unethical ways to do it. So an ethical way to learn how to retrain your subconscious to be set on where you're going. Now, to get from your consciousness to your subconscious, these are 5 different ways to get your subconscious to change. The foundation of this has to do with an immersion in these techniques, a repetition of these techniques, and consistency with these techniques. These are techniques to change the subconscious. So I show you this so that you can see it's possible. It's real. And to make this even easier, these are the techniques that you can see where you're going and what you want, talk about what you want, listen to words that say what you want, feel what you want, and do those things to make it happen. Sorry, I probably shouldn't have brought that in there. I'm running out of time and I want to make sure you get everything you need here. But I wanted to show you this to know that if you've been wrestling with your subconscious and you've wondered what's wrong with you, if you have a friend who's like, why can't I change? What's my problem? You can tell your client, you can tell your friend, there's a way. There is a way, and you know it. Maybe you don't know how to do it yet, but I want you to know that there is a way to make this happen, because this is what I've been able to do for my life, is I learned how to change my subconscious so I could point my subconscious towards what I want, so I can be set on this, so I can create what I want in my life. And this is why I'm so excited to teach you and to do this webinar tonight and to teach every person I ever meet that this is possible. And it's not hard. You just need to know how to do it. And if you already are teaching people how to do mindset work, I'm so glad you're out there in the world teaching. I hope you're not hesitating. I hope you're really out there doing everything you can to teach people, because the more we can teach people how this works, we'll have people who are happier. We'll have people who understand themselves better. We'll have people who are accomplishing what they want, creating what they want, fighting less, liking themselves more, and improving the people around them. It's a huge difference, because all this doubt is destroying people. It's causing them to feel hopeless and helpless, and then they do terrible things, and it makes a mess. And so the coaching secret to lasting transformation is the mindset work on the subconscious. We have to know and learn how to get the subconscious set on where we're going, to change this arrow from pointing back to pointing forward. And this is what I do. I teach people these techniques. I teach coaches these techniques so that you not only use them in your own life, but you can also use them in teaching other people to make that lasting difference. This, I hope you get a picture of this, because this is huge. And so if you're wondering why you're not able to move forward, or why you can't make things happen, and why it's taking so long, if it's taking a long time, it's because your subconscious is still pointing the other direction. That's what causes the delay. That's what causes it not to happen, is because your mind is still set on the old setting, not this new setting. That's why it takes so long. And maybe this answers a question about your spouse or your kids or your friend or your mom, your dad, or your sibling, or maybe even your team members. And you're like, why won't they change? It's because they're functioning off what their mind is set on, and they're not set on this. You'll know when somebody is set on where they're going because they get there. They make it happen. It comes to fruition. Things work for them because their mind is pointed forward. Like, this is the biggest, coolest thing ever. So this is where problems come from, but it's also the same place where solutions happen. And so as you're moving forward to be a coach, there's something seriously to consider, is to be able to be like, okay, I got to learn this. I want to figure this out. I want to be able to do this, not only for yourself, but to be able to help the people around you, because this is where people struggle. Every client I have ever worked with over the 17 years, I work with them on their mindset. Because if their mind is not set on where they're going, we're not going to get there. It's not going to happen. It's just going to be a massive struggle and a lot of effort and little progress. And that's discouraging. I don't want to be a coach that causes people to have discouragement with a bunch of hope, but no results. That's why I focus on mindset. And I really hope that you take it on to add mindset to your coaching. That you add mindset to your coaching. And if you don't know how to do this and you wish you had all the curriculum and the understanding of how to do this, wow, I would love to teach you. I've got this all put together, all the content, everything already prepared, organized for you to learn exactly how to teach this. And of course, I also know how to help you with mindset of being a coach, right? So, man, I'd love to help you get moving forward in such a big way. So here's something I want, before we leave here, I got something I want to share with you here. as a coach, talking about mindset, okay, talking about mindset, what is your mindset set on for you as a coach? Where is it set when it comes to income? Because this is what I see. I see some coaches who are set on having free clients. I see some clients set on $50 per appointment. But then I also see coaches who are at $300 for a package, $900 for a package, $1,000 for a package. And you clearly can see people have different mindsets. So as I brought this up to you about mindset, something I want to just help you with is to recognize that your mindset needs to change. It needs to change. You need to pick where you want to be on this scale. Now, if you don't want to do coaching for pay, it's okay. You can just still listen, but I just need to bring this up because I want you to be able to do coaching full time and not have to do another job. And so that you can do this from home and do what you love and help lots of people and be able to take care of your needs and to be able to help lots of people and be able to do a fair price. You don't have to charge $1 zillion to do this, but you can charge a very fair price that people are willing to pay to have this kind of help. But wherever you might already know your mindset is at, remember, point A is where you're at. Where do you want to be? If you want to be where people buy a $900 coaching program from you, then on your mirror, it needs to say $900 coaching package. People purchase my $900 coaching package. This gets to be your new mindset. It gets to be where you're headed to. Because part of you making progress and being able to do this more full time, it most likely is going to have to be an income for you. But you're not going to make it if your mindset is still back here at free clients. Your mindset about your coaching program and how much it is sold for is only going to change if you change it. So I care enough to bring this up to you so that you can start to pick, where do you want it to land? Where do you want your pricing to be so you can start to practice this mindset of where you're going? Now, what I love to do is I love to teach brand new up and coming coaches, right? Brand new coaches to help them with their mindset about their coach package. And if their mindset is at zero, well, we're going to move them to $50. And then from 50, we're going to go to 97. From 97, we're going to go to 300. And then 300 to 900. We're like going to keep graduating. Because when you're at the beginning client, we're not thinking a beginning coach. We're not thinking $10,000 packages because that is way too far to jump. And maybe you're trying to do that. Don't do that. That's a big jump. That you won't make it. I mean, that is way too far to jump. You need to stagger your mindset changing into incremental mindset steps. This could be a game changer for you, just hearing this here at the very end of learning about this. Because as I go to coach people and they go to do their first, go to enroll their first client, I love this. I love this because, you could be earning between $500 to $500 per hour coaching. You could be putting in the effort to be able to work with clients, to work your way towards having $200, $300, $400, $500 per hour. Putting some effort in, definitely it can happen. But here's the secret: mindset. Mindset causes it to happen sooner. Those who work on mindset see changes happen sooner. Now, this is mindset with effort, right? It's with effort. It's not without effort. It's mindset with effort, but definitely a dramatic change in how soon the results happen and how big the results happen. So for example, check this out. He just got his first client.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lawrence
Let me
Stone.
see if I can.
My business is
make
The
this
Basic
happen.
Trainer.
Oh, maybe I didn't turn the sound on. Hold on just a second. Let me just check this really quick. Maybe it's, let me just check here.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lawrence
For
Stone.
some reason,
My business is The Basic Trainer.
Sound.
Just got
Oh,
started.
I know what it is.
Hold
on just a second. You got to hear this, though. This is so cool. He just got his first client. It is so awesome. Microphone, speaker. There we go, right there. Okay, now I got it.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lawrence Stone. My business is The Basic Trainer. Just got started this month, and I just signed up my first paid client. I'm super excited. I've been using the 3 Key Elements program.
Oh, shoot. Sorry.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lawrence Stone. My business is The Basic Trainer. Just got started this month, and I just signed up my first paid client. I'm super excited. I've been using the 3 Key Elements program. I've been loving the trainings with Kirk and with everyone else. There's been some amazing, fascinating stuff that I've absolutely loved. My first client, I was able to sign up for $300. I apologize, you hear my son in the background. He's excited too. He's really excited about my first client. And it's going to be a great experience moving forward. And as I'm working on referrals, and it's a referral from a practice client that I worked with through this program, and it's absolutely great. I'm very excited about it.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Now, the beautiful part about this is I love the start. I love helping people go from wherever they were at point A to their point B. So Lawrence was at point A where he had no clients. His point B is a $300 coaching package. And now we get to move to point C. So he is already heading in this level of trajectory because he's using mindset. He has a plan. He has content. He's learning from me. He's learning from my team. We are escalating his growth. And here at the very beginning, he's already starting out at a $300 package. I don't know about you, but that is super exciting. I love the start. I love the beginning of this as people get started, because if they can start right, what happens is the curve of their success happens so quickly.
All right. Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, 28th or 9th or something of January. Since joining Coach Fast Track, I have enrolled 2 paying clients. One towards the end of October that we've been working on getting together for a few months. And she paid me $900 for her first group of sessions. And she's coming up on renewal again in a week or two. And just this past week, on Tuesday, I enrolled my second paying client after we had a great enrollment conversation. And when I explained what my 90-day price was at $1,000, she's like, 3 months for $1,000? Yeah, I'll do that. Can I pay you right now? So that was really exciting and fun. I love the encouragement, and it's really fun for me to especially get to serve people, because that's why I'm here. I consider it a privilege to be able to coach and serve people. I love the directness of the Coach Fast Track program and how everything works together. And the steps really do encourage me to be accountable and keep moving forward. And all the information that we receive, the coaching, the one-to-one coaching, is really powerful for me to work through the things that get in my own way and help me to move forward to be a really great coach. So far too, we'll see what I can do by next week. Bye.
That's so awesome. Again, they could be starting out on a path like this, and doing it yourself. But when you have a great program and you've got great coaches around you, and this is where they are starting. And I love the beginning of everybody's journey. And if we can start them off with the high level of mindset of not doing just free clients, but having $300, $1,000 happen, that the direction they're going to head is going to be successful. So I don't know where you're at and what you're doing and what level you're at, but I really seriously wish I could help you. And if you are wanting to have paid clients, then maybe this Coach Fast Track program would be good for you, because it's very specific about your mindset. It's very specific about steps to take and how to coach to be able to work you through the steps to get really, really good at this. And like I said, there's a full-on coaching program already ready to go. That's the content I've been using for years that seriously has built a multi-million-dollar company. And yes, I'm giving you a license to use it. So if you've wondered how to get started with content, this would be a beautiful experience to learn this because it addresses the core problems. My team and I on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays give you great coaching, great insight, accountability, and we know how to help you do this because we've been doing this for 17 years. And that's our mission now, is to help you go teach the people you want to teach. We have an online school that you will be part of to be able to learn this content. And we also have content in here to help you build your own coaching program. That's a beautiful part about this is, yes, you have my content to use and have a license to use, and you can just run with that as fast and as big as you want to go. But when it's ready for you to develop your own content, we have dialed it in on how to build content. I mean, we've built 41 programs. This can help you build your program and make it great. I mean, that's seriously, we want you to shine. We want you to be able to fulfill what you know you need to do, because we know what it's like when you're in those zones. You need some help, need some guidance, need some support, need a quick way to get started. And that's why this is called Coach Fast Track. Now, I have something for you here. I've got some documents here to help you in organizing some of your content. I know you have ideas. I know you would like to have a process of how to sort these ideas. And so I have some worksheets from one of my past classes that were really helpful in helping pull together ideas and turning it into a class, a group coaching program, or some coaching content. Now, if you would like to have a copy of these documents in your own hands, tell me in the chat box to give you the link. I want to make sure you're still there. If you want this, I will grab the link right now and stick it in here. Would you like that? Okay, cool. Okay, I'm going to highlight this. I see some of you already jumping in the chat box. Let me go ahead and give this to you. Let me see if I can get in the chat box here. And I hope this works. I hope this works. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to put it in the chat box. Okay, it's in the chat box as a link and to a Google Drive folder that I made before this webinar with the documents. But I know that I might have done something technically that maybe didn't make it work. So my team is also going to email it to you. So if you click on that link and that's in the chat box and it doesn't work, don't worry. My team will send it out to you tomorrow and make sure you get a copy of this. So I've got a couple documents here to help you in organizing some of your content. Follow through, just read the questions, follow the questions. This will help you organize your thoughts into a program. And so it's a great way to get started, to be able to help you in being able to develop your own content. Now, if you do want to be part, or at least get the rest of the information about the Coach Fast Track program. Oh, I forgot to show you this. You hear people starting out with $300 packages and $1,000 packages. Well, there's also people doing $5,000 packages and doing $2,500 packages and $7,500 packages. Lots of great success happening with coaches who have been to these programs. So this is what you do. If you would like to know more about the Coach Fast Track program that I am coaching, I'm coaching about intuition, I'm coaching about framework, and I'm coaching about techniques. And if you would like to be trained by me, coached by me in this program, in this group coaching, go to 3ke.2/fast track or scan that QR code, and it will take you to a calendar, and you're going to answer some questions and then schedule a phone call. And that will be either with myself, Wayne, or Cody. And then we'll give you all the details about the Coach Fast Track program. Because if you like what I shared with you tonight about intuition, about framework, and about techniques, that's what I'm about. I would love to train you more on intuition and how to be so dialed in with people. And if you want to learn the other exercises to be able to be a better listener and be more in tune, I'll show you, I'll teach you, I'll show you how to do this. So if you really like that part and you would love to have this kind of coaching so you can be just an incredible coach, go here, schedule a call, jump on a call with my team, get the details about the Coach Fast Track program, and seriously consider jumping in. It's an incredible program that we know what we're doing. We're here to help you, here to serve you. And if you are one of the first 7 people to schedule, I want you to tell the person who's on the phone with you that you also qualify for a $2,000 scholarship. So you have to be one of the first 7 people to be able to earn that scholarship. And so as you register for that and you sign up for that phone call, it tells us what number you are. So be quick in jumping on there to schedule your phone call to learn more about the Coach Fast Track program. Now, if you are one of the first 5 people to register for Coach Fast Track, this is an additional bonus. You will also earn 2 one-hour coaching appointments with me. I would love to get on the phone with you. Not the phone, get on a Zoom call with you. Oh man, that'd be so awesome. I would love to spend time with you. And you can ask me any questions you want, whatever training you want from me. That would give you and I 2 hours of spending time together. If you want me to help you build your content, I'll help you. If you want me to help you on your intuition and what to do, I'll help you. If you want me to help you with your clients, help you with your pricing, help you with your personal life, that's 2 one-hour appointments that you could earn by being one of the first 5 people to actually register for Coach Fast Track. So be sure when you register, you're asking them, if it's Wayne, Cody, or myself on the phone call, be sure to ask, hey, am I one of the first 5? Because I want those 2 coaching appointments with Kirk, because I want to work with you. I would love to help you. I mean, seriously, if you're like, Kirk, build me a program, I'll build you a program. I would love it. I absolutely love these phone calls, and I love spending time with people that are like me. And if you're like me and you know this is your thing, you know this is what you got to do, you got to get fully into it, then let's spend time together and get into this Coach Fast Track program so you can be learning from my team, learning from myself. We have been a successful company for 17 years. With everything that's happened, we can help you be successful too. And here we are in the right place at the right time to make this connection. So go ahead and go to that link or scan that code and go answer the questions and then schedule your phone call. We'd love to talk to you. And I want you to know it's no pressure. We are not high pressure salespeople. We're not here to convince you. It has to be a perfect fit. Because if we have to convince you to sign up for Coach Fast Track, then we're going to have to convince you all the way through the program to stay with it. So we are not going to sit here trying to convince you. You will know if this is the right program for you. After you hear the details, you'll know if it's a good fit or not. Because if it's a good fit, I know you will stick with it, you will do the work, and you will have paid clients. And your skill, your intuition, your frameworks, your techniques will be fine-tuned because you'll be all in. I know that. We learned years ago to not convince people because it is just a mess. Now we just know that when people are ready, they're ready. When they're in, they're in. When they're going to do the work, they do the work. So check it out. There's no harm in getting on a call to get the details, and then you go make your decision. But I want to stick those bonuses in front of you one more time. If you're one of the first 7 people to schedule, then you can say you get a $2,000 scholarship. Speak up when you're on that call and ask for that. And we'll also check to make sure you are one of the first 7. And then again, if you're one of the first 5 to register, you and I get 2 one-hour appointments together. And I'm here to help. I'm here to help. I'm very real. I'm down to earth. I love the world of coaching. And no matter the skill level, no matter the level you're at, I will help you. Because it's super important to me that you're out there. Because somebody's kids needs help. Somebody's spouse needs help. People out there need help. And we need more good coaches who know what they're doing out there. And you're one of those people. So let's do a good work. Let's wake up and get involved. get trained. Don't complain about things, just get good training. And this is the place to get it, especially because it has frameworks, intuition, and techniques. It's a hybrid coaching, and that's who you are. You're a hybrid coach, and that's where you're headed because you're just like me. So let's do good work. So go here at 3ke.2/fast track, answer the questions, schedule your appointment, and maybe it'll be me on the phone because it just rotates through. Just by the look of the draw, it might be me. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk, maybe not. But Wayne and Cody are awesome. They're just great people. They've been with the company for a long time. They do a great work. They're really good at explaining the program. They'll answer all your questions. They'll give you the options that you can have in jumping into this program, and they'll explain it all to you. And then you can make your decision. Cool. Okay. I'm going to say it one more time. I hope I get a chance to have an appointment with you. It would just be so cool. I'd really love it. Because then I can like sit right here and it's just you and me. And then I can give you all my attention and I can help you and answer your questions and help you get organized so that you can feel strong and confident. I can help you with your mindset so that you can have that quick trajectory, right? Right? Like, don't you want this? I mean, seriously, that instead of this, right? Oh, it's so possible. It is so possible. So cool. And I love helping people have this happen in their life. Oh, so good. Okay, you can tell I don't want to leave. I just want to hang out with you. You can tell I'm just still, it's like 9:22. We got to go. You can't have this be like a 3-hour webinar. But great to be with you. Great to spend time with you. I hope you took some great notes. You got some screenshots. And wow, great questions, right? To never be stumped. Just so good. So good. I'm so glad we did this. So glad we're part of this. But here, go get yourself an appointment. Get the details. Don't wait. Don't wait. And if you are in this zone, I'm going to go back to this screen. If you are in this zone right here, you kind of going back and forth here, then do the Coach Fast Track program. We will help you move from here to here to get to here. Right there, just so you can just boom, go. Don't try to do it by yourself. Do it yourselfers get eaten up in their head. They just get eaten up by imposter syndrome and this whole next level zone here. I see way too many people quitting, and then they come up with like really creative excuses. Be surrounded by cool people who know what they're talking about. That's what you want, right? Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to go. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. I love you. I know it sounds weird to say I love you, but I love who you are. And I'm glad we're part of the same humanity. Like, we're here and we can make a difference. That's the cool part. We can absolutely make a difference. And like I say from the stage, every time I teach a class, our job is to love the people. Love the people more than they even love themselves. Love them more than they even love themselves. And we can make a difference the more we care about them. Higher levels of understanding activates intuition. And that's where the cool stuff happens. That's where it's really cool. Cool. All right, jump into this program. Love to share with you what I've learned along the way. And you can make a great impact on other people. All right. Love you guys. Thank you.